But Benny, let's start with your top 8 before the draw started, before, after.
That's right. So first I had my prediction based on just the teams, right? And
vibes.
Vibes, yeah, vibes a little bit. Aura, right? And so most of these teams are going to be the ones that you'd expect up there. You see the Bayern Munich, FC Barcelona, Arsenal, Inter Milan, I feel like is a team that does well in Champions League and also has not easy schedule in Serie, but they're the favorites, so they may be able to take a few players off here and there. PSG, Real Madrid, Atleti, and Man United back into the final 8 there.
So the only non-pot 1 team in your top 8 is Manchester United. Everybody else is pot 1.
I believe so, but I think that changes.
Okay.
After we saw the draw and the schedule, and we will start revealing it here. So at number 8, we're going from 1 to 8. Got it. So number 1, we keep Bayern Munich. I think Bayern takes that top spot. Obviously, Arsenal has had it last year, but I think Bayern is going to be able to do that. And also they can, like what we talked about with the scheduling, it makes sense for Bayern to rest some players during their Bundesliga. Number 2 stays consistent as well with FC Barcelona. Number 3, Arsenal. I think Arsenal, again, we talked about it before. I think they take this very seriously. As we saw last year, they were 8-0. Maybe they don't get that top spot, but I do think they're somewhere around there at the end of it.
Yeah, so far, no major surprises. I feel like to make top 8, for a smaller team, it's very difficult.
But you usually see something creeping up either in the 8th spot or maybe just below of somebody that you wouldn't expect. But again, top 4, we kept with Inter Milan as well for the same reasons that I talked about before. Scheduling, I think they can take more serious, put the players in all these games and try and avoid those 2 games home and away on the back end.
Benny, who could creep up, do you think, out of the teams that we saw?
Well, here's one of them, right? I think Liverpool is a big question mark for me. They have, obviously, a new manager, a new style of play, some new players coming in, some players going out. But I thought their schedule is very, pleasing for a Liverpool fan. And if they do what they're supposed to in some of these games and look like the team that we would somewhat expect under Iraola, I think that they get into that top 5 then.
For an English team, I don't care who it is, making top 8 is essential. Especially those 2 fixtures come in January after a packed holiday schedule. It could do you in. Those 2 important games, if you don't, make sure you get that job done.
And if I'm not mistaken, Liverpool, even though they had a difficult year last year, they were in the top 8, if I'm not mistaken. They had a pretty good record in the Champions League.
We've got some comments on YouTube saying Liverpool should be higher in this top 8. What do you make of that?
I mean, it's possible. Again, it depends how quickly they figure out, who they want to be and how cohesive and the chemistry looks with the new players under the new manager. But, yeah, they have the quality to be higher, but I put them at 5 right now, which I think would be beneficial for Liverpool going forward. At 6, Real Madrid. I think I had them in the first top 8 as well, so they remain there with 15 Champions League trophies. I think they want to try and stay to that top 8 to avoid those 2 games.
And pick up momentum, like Champions League for Real Madrid with Jose Mourinho. I think they can start building towards something, especially this is their tournament. So finishing top 8, avoiding those 2 games in February, just finish January and, you've got a nice little rest time.
It's interesting, right? Because really you see them and Barcelona as the only 2 real viable contenders in La Liga. If they finish here, they can almost make sure that they're going for it in La Liga as well.
Do you think it could be their year?
For
Real Madrid?
For Champions League?
Yeah.
It could always be their year.
I think it's always their year. I think it's always their year until they lose the targets on their back every year.
Any year that they're not in the quarters or semifinals is surprising, I think.
Yeah.
Dortmund, I think, was one of the other teams that kind of jumped into the top 8. I like their schedule, so they were a pot B, I believe, or pot 2, or whatever they wanted, what they called it. But they jumped up to 7th place.
That's a big one. I like that.
And I think Atleti was the team that dropped out of that position because I thought Atleti had some difficult matchups, and also we don't know exactly where their team's going to be with the Julian Alvarez thing. Dortmund's a team that has won Champions League before. They come in with the weight of the jersey, and they kind of know how to manage these games, and so I thought that they might be able to creep up into that 7th spot.
Nico, what do you think about Dortmund there?
Yeah, that's fair. I want to see what Dortmund are made of this season. It's always a bridesmaid, never the bride. It's been like that for a really long time. I think it's going to be very difficult when you're playing in the same league as Bayern Munich. I think we ask ourselves at the beginning of every Bundesliga season, is Bayern going to lose it, yes or no?
Right.
Right, I think the answer this year, again, is no. So I wonder how they navigate this Champions League season and really show that they've got something in there.
And we had number 8 was Man United. They stay there. So Man United, doing everything they can to try and go forward into the Champions League. I think it's important for them to finish in that top 8 as well, so that they don't have to play those extra 2 games, and they're already into the round of 16. But it'll be interesting to see what they look like as well.
We do have a comment saying Benny is delusional.
With all 8 teams, I'm delusional? Okay. That's possible.
3 and 4,
right.
this means that Arsenal nor Inter hosts a second leg semi-final if they are to get there at home, right? So just that caveat of the knockout stage is a little bit particular.
Who are you both most excited to watch out of these teams?
For me, United back in the Champions League.
I agree.
With Michael Carrick, I'm so curious to see how they do, again, with a different sort of pressure, managing the Premier League and the Champions League. It's going to be a fun season, at least for us on the broadcasting side of things.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think United, maybe it was a little bit with the brain and a lot with the heart. I want to see them do well. I think Champions League is more fun with United being a big part of it.
Well, we'll see what happens, and I'm sure someone will have clipped up those predictions as well for a few weeks' time. Thank you, Benny. Thank you, Nico.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.